Welcome back to the vlog. My name is Mike, and I've been doing this video production thing since 2018 full time. And that there is Josh, who is trying to get some handheld walking shots of some B-roll out here in the desert. Now, as I've told you before, we're trying to do spec work and this and that. And this project came up from a buddy of mine who is producing some documentaries, and this one happens to be of the true crime sort of documentary. And so he called me up for some help. Um, and I said, absolutely. And what was in my mind was, well, I have to work that day. And what will be great is if I can get Josh to come along with me and we just kind of do this gig as a Storyking Studios gig rather than just me. Um, and this would be something where we can kind of stretch our legs and, kind of flex our documentary muscles, in a sense. Just kind of like I've been talking about how we're doing spec ads and stuff like that. Why not come out here and shoot a documentary and do a favor for a friend? So that's exactly what this was this day. And I'm not going to give you too many details on the project because I can't. But what I can tell you is that David, who's putting all this stuff together, is a documentary filmmaker, and he actually just released a film called Concussed: The American Dream, which features Brett Favre and some other NFL players talking about a critical situation. And so it's a cool documentary. I actually watched it before we came out to do this one, just kind of doing my homework and whatnot. And the guy has some storytelling chops. He's really good at storytelling. He's a great interviewer, as I learned during this whole ordeal here. So if you want, you can go ahead and check that out on Tubi. It's called Concussed: The American Dream. And I think that this next one is going to blow it out the park. So, as you already know, it's Josh and I. We got the FX6, and we're actually working with the A7S3. This project kind of came down the pipeline like last minute. So, we actually had a couple of cameras. Our FX3 and our FX30 were actually out on loan to to Augie. You know Augie. And Augie was actually shooting something for us over the weekend. So we were like, well, oh shoot, we're gonna do this, and we definitely want to help out here, but we're missing two of our cameras. But I was like, hey, I got the A7S3, got the same color science, got the same sensor. We could definitely put that to work. So yeah, man, A and B camera, the lighting setup, everything. You already know how it goes. We were doing just the same thing, trying to get that nice soft light. I'm running B camera here, and this is going to be the close. Josh is on the wide with the FX6, and we're running a boom mic overhead. And this is how you know you were meant to do what you're supposed to do. We had no idea about location when we came into this town. David, being a go-getter, was like, hey, I'm going to stop by the library. Hey, can we use your library and film there? And they were like, yeah. And here we are. That's not something that that doesn't occur to me. You know what I mean? I'm over here thinking I'll have to pay somebody something or whatever. Anyway, on to the setup. What we're doing is we're shooting the Aputure 600X with a softbox into an 8x of diffusion. And then on the other side, what we're doing is we are negging it so that we can get that dramatic look. Overhead, we have the tube lights, the usual setup as you've seen us do before. And this is one of the reasons why we kind of go over and above, not only because it looks good for clients, but it also gives you this training. If you're training like this constantly, when you actually need to do it, you can get it done. You can get it done pretty quick. So, because you've been doing it so often. Now, we were so pressed for time that interview was set to be for an hour and a half at the most. We sat there for about 3.5 hours with this interview. It was good content. But we were so pressed for time. They all went out to go get some more B-roll, and I broke everything down and put it in the van. So I had a good time on this one, though. Really fun. So I just want to talk about real quick what I've actually purchased in the past as far as Black Friday deals, because you can get some pretty decent deals. Now, one of the things that I don't get is I don't buy cameras. For one, I've talked about on the channel about buying cameras. I mean, you should get one that you're happy with, and hopefully it take care of what you need. But you're not really going to find any good deals on some of these cameras, but what you will find is some decent stuff on other things. The best deals that I've found that I've purchased on Black Friday is silica. And we're talking about parts for my computer, and I do edit. So we do a lot of the, with our production company, we do a lot of shooting and we do the editing. And the vlog and the work that you just saw, we're not doing any of that editing. And so sometimes that's the big reward on jobs like that. But most of the jobs that we're doing, I'm doing the editing. And so I need a pretty beefy machine that can take care of it all. When we, got this monster of a BC that we built at work, and I'm looking into the components, I'm like, man, wouldn't mind upgrading my computer at home just a little bit. And so Black Friday rolls around and I'm looking through the deals, and I was just like, we're talking CPUs being like $200-300 cheaper. It was the top of the line. It was basically like last year's top of the line brand. Now I got this I remember if it was last year or 2 years ago, I upgraded it. But it's one of those things where it's like they're dropping one every year. They're dropping the next generation every year. So you can go back like a year or 2 years and get the top of the line, which I'm AMD. And so I ended up getting the 9. I forgot. It's been 2 years, and once I'm done upgrading, I forget everything about everything. But I upgraded my CPU, which really helped in editing. I upgraded my graphics card, which helped in editing. And I upgraded memory. I upgraded some hard drives. All of that stuff was on sale. So if I were to buy anything this year, it would definitely be probably memory. SSDs are just dropping in price everywhere. Or if you were going to buy a computer, I mean, I'm right here on B&H, and I'm looking at some of the computers. Now, the lower you go, obviously, if you wanted to get like a MacBook Air, you're only going to save $100. That's not worth it. Now, you know me, I'm all about getting deals and stuff. So, by the way, if you're wondering why this is all dark, because I'm in my bedroom, I'm trying to show you how dirty my room is, and I'm only lighting this with my computer screen. Watch this. It's a dark website, and I go onto a light website, and it lights my face. So that's kind of cool. And by the way, again, I'm talking about this iPhone, man. The iPhone, the 15 and the 16 with ProRes makes the world of difference. But I digress. If you're really adventurous, because you know me, I'm all about getting deals on equipment. And so if you're adventurous, I have been shopping on AliExpress lately because I've always had like Temu or Temu, however you say it. I've always shopped on different sites like that. When it comes to buying gear, I've always shopped on like eBay, and then the regular reputable sites like B&H, blah, 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 blah. But for deals, I'm on eBay, and I'm always finding good deals. I've shopped on Temu every once in a while, and I'll look for it, like the cowboy boots and stuff like that. And they have some knockoff stuff like that, but you're not going to find too much filmmaking stuff. Well, AliExpress has all of the filmmaking gear that you're looking for. If they sell it on eBay or Amazon, they're probably going to sell it on AliExpress direct from the Chinese manufacturers. What I purchased when these Black Friday sales went live was a Ulanzi VL120 bicolor light. And it's the COB light. It's not the little panel that they sell. It's a COB light. It's a 120 bicolor, 120 watt bicolor light from Ulanzi. And it's powered by a V-mount. And so you can get the fixture all by itself. It doesn't come with a can. It doesn't come with anything. Just the fixture all by itself. And you can get that for $70. It was like $71.63. So $70 shipped. I was like, man, that's a good deal for 120 watts. And that's the kind of light that I can take anywhere. If there's a live event or there's something where we're just going to do something real quick, or even music videos. When I do music videos and I'm lighting them pretty basic. So that with a softbox on it's a Bowens mount. So that with a softbox on it anywhere, and you know you got Bowens mount attachments already at home if you've been doing this for any length of time. $70? You know, I got light stands, I got V-mounts. All I need is the light, and I already got Bowens adapters and everything like that. So I purchased that one, and I'll say that because I'll say that to say this. Check out this light right here that I purchased the first time. This is 100%. Okay. 5700. I'm trying to match this. This is a Godox 60 ML60. This is the daylight balance one, but it far outshines this. This light was the very first thing I purchased from AliExpress concerning filmmaking gear that were like lights and stuff. Because they have like all kinds of like, you know, the small rig, odds and ends, rigging things that you could purchase. Those things you'll find cheaper here on AliExpress than you'll find anywhere else. And then when they're running Black Friday sales, forget it, all day long. And so I've done that and I've purchased that. I bought this light right here, and it said it was an 80-watt light. But as you can see, the color's off for one. Two, it was giving me this weird flicker. Just everything was all bad. But it was a no-name brand. So I was like, well, I think it was like 40 bucks. So I was like, 80 watts for $40. You better believe I'm buying it. I bought it. It was horrible. And they have a great return policy. So I sent it back, no problem. And I think I used to be afraid because I was like buying stuff from China and then sending it back is a nightmare. But I think everybody has taken a page out of Amazon's book now, knowing that returns are easy. And that's why people go to them. So like AliExpress has a return policy just like Amazon, in the sense of you don't have to worry about it. If you don't want it, return it. And I did. So after that, I purchased, you know, my panel lights. They're Young Newell lights. So I found after that, you know how you see a product and then they link to the next one. I saw a Young Newell light, 150 watts for, it was like 50 bucks. Bare light, nothing comes with it. So I was like, okay, bye. Let me try that. And I bought it, and it's here. So I purchased this guy. Now, I did write a review on it, and I gave it a negative review. And the reason why I gave it a negative review was simply because this is all it came with. No reflector. And because it's a mini Bones mount, I had no can for this thing. There's nothing that I could have fixed to this thing. So I was upset on this one. So I left it a bad review, not a full-on bad review, but a middle tier review, whatever you call it. You have no way to power this thing unless you already have the equipment, but I have all the equipment. I have the V-mount batteries. I have power cables and everything like that. With Young Newell, you have to be very careful because they have weird power. Like this is a 24-volt DC input. Like who does 24 volt? Everybody does 12 volt. So it's very strange. Their power adaptations. So just be careful. But I was like, for 50 bucks, I'm willing to risk it. But the light does work, and I'm not doing a review on it right now, so I'll do a review on it later. I think it's a great value if you get everything you need with it. But anyway, the Ulanzi one that I did just order for 70 bucks, 120 watts, bi-color, comes with the Bones mount. It comes with the can. It's not a mini Bones mount. It's a regular Bones mount. So I'm like, that's a crazy deal. So I purchased that and some other lights that I'm not going to say what I purchased until they get here. When they get here, I'll tell you about it. But anyway, I've rambled on already enough. But I don't remember how I got into looking for this stuff, because it's not like on their menus. You can't just find it in the menus. So I don't remember how I found it. But, you know, unless you know what you're looking for. If you go looking for, you know, Nan light, or you go looking for Aputure light or anything like that, then, you know, you're just going to start populating your page with what you want to see. But that being said, those are some of the things that I have purchased in the past and purchased thus far for this Black Friday. These are the things that I got that I think have the most value, because, again, if you purchase off of face value, some of these things are not as big as a deal as, you know, you would hope for, I think, as I've been looking around. And I'm always, you know me, I'm always looking for a good deal. Just $40 here, $30 there, off of things that, I want to find that really cheap. One last thing. 2 years ago, and this is the reason why I bought this guy. 2 years ago, we've been looking for little lights like this that can pump out power. That's got a circular diameter when you see it in camera, and it's not, you know, like my panels, because I loved my panels. But, you know, when you see them in camera, if you're catching a live event, you can see that rectangular pattern. So the best light that we found, but I didn't want to pay for, was the Godox ML60, and I've even talked about that here on this channel. I have that now, but I wasn't going to pay $280. It was $280 when it came out, and It was on sale on B&H Black Friday for $120. $280 to $120. That's the kind of deal I'm talking about. And so if you can go fishing for that, I don't remember how I went fishing for it. Because I don't know if you're like me, but when it comes to B&H or Amazon, I put a lot of things in my cart that I'm not going to buy, but I'm not going to put it on a wish list. I just put it in my cart and then save for later, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I did. I think I might have done that. And then when I looked at it on Black Friday, I was like, oh, shoot, 120? Buy. So I'm always looking for a deal like that. And so hence why I got the Ulanzi light, because that's double the power, but it runs on V-mount. That's what I love. I don't have to worry about cables. The only time I ever use that light, you already know in my lighting kit, I got 600s and whatnot. And then at work, we got even bigger lights and potentially even bigger than that. But we'll talk about that on a later video. All right. I've wasted enough of your time. I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. I hope you guys find some good deals. If this is after Thanksgiving, you can always find yourself some good deals. And again, if you're feeling adventurous, try that AliExpress. I've only been ordering from them for like a month or two now, and it's been a pretty good experience. So give it a shot.